Gundam.tk presents High Grade Zeydra. Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs, 2Bs from GundamReviews.net, and Red Mobile Suits. They've been famous throughout Gundam history. How will Zeydra Galetz and his Zeydra stack up? Can't wait to see that. But in terms of the plastic model, here's a list of all the good and bad things so that you can think about whether you want to add this to your high grade 1/144th or Gundam Age collection. This kit is far from perfect, although I wouldn't have noted from the unbox and the parts where I was just impressed with so many things. It's only once you put it together that you're going to see that it is going to have some of the flaws that we've already seen with other Veigan mobile suits. Let's start with the bottom where you've got those small ankles and you're not really going to have enough range of mobility to have them in too many poses. So you are going to be limited with ground poses, especially with those hips. You're not going to get any movement off to the side, and you are going to have the skirts just a little in the way to go forward or back, so not full kicks up there. Also with the waist, it's that double-edged sword where you're going to have so much posability, but because of that you can almost have too much. He is going to lean over to the side every once in a while, which will be familiar to anybody who's built the Master Grade 00 Quanta. Usually you don't see that so much in high grades, but maybe you could just add a little bit of something to just tighten up those joints. Overall, this backpack, it's not quite a backpack because it's not going to be a completely detachable thing. You're going to build the whole thing up together. Very similar to the Zetas there. But I am not too crazy. I would have liked to see a little bit more of the black and the orange on the front to go along with the green. And every once in a while, they do just get sort of lost back there. I really thought that they were just built into his arms in the anime. It was only once I built the this mobile suit in plastic model form that I noticed that they are detachable. They are posable, just again, not that much. Just a single poly cap there. Could be a little bit better. The seal for the silver is going to be a great thing, except for the fact that it's not going to fit on there too perfectly. You are going to be getting the same old hands, so there are going to be a lot of repetitive elements for putting these Veigan guys together. The head is going to be a little bit dull compared to the rest. At first I thought the yellow wasn't going to be enough to bring them alive compared to the advanced grade. When you do see it on there though, it is going to draw the eyes, but you aren't going to see too much of the green Veigan eyes on the inside compared to the shiny green that we see everywhere else. And you do have to be careful with those alien commander antennas because they do fall off at the drop of a hat. But positives abound as well, and I'm talking especially this guy is just a treat to put together, and especially when you take him out of the box, he's just so different in terms of the colors that I was just excited right off the hop. And when you're putting everything together, every single little thing from the way that you attach the ankle armor on, the feet and their interesting construction, the fact that you do have these color parts in the back, but it's the knee mechanism and the fact that you're going to get that 180 bend up there with the black on the inside showing off a little bit of inner frame. You've got a complex waist section there with tons of little details in it, and the color separation is just astonishing with some of these small parts. And that only applies double for the chest, where again you're going to have the red, yellow, black, green with that silver trim, orange, and then red on top of the black for the waist section and the torso. Even in the back you can see black, orange, yellow, red in close succession. Combine that with the wings where you've got all these colors, and I'm going on, but it's just absolutely amazing. If you think about where we used to get with high grades with just 2 or 3 colors every once in a while, this guy's going to take his 5 and put them to full use. In terms of the weapons, yeah, the tail every once in a while can drag him down and he will knock somebody over on your shelf if you try to pose them, because that tail can be a little bit annoying, but it is going to still be a solid weapon here, and it's not going to be like the Zetas where you only have the one choice and they aren't going to include the beam sabers, because by having the Zeydra gun here, you're just going to double his firepower, or so it seems, and the posing possibilities, because then you've got the shooting and the slashing. I think they look fantastic together because you can do so many of those crouched up ball type attacks where you just see that he's ready to spring into action. And overall, even though you can't move those wings that much, they are going to provide that little bit of dynamicism, and overall he's going to look great. So you can almost imagine that it would be nice to be getting an action base with him, similar to what we got with the Age 2. But hopefully you can pick one of those up retail and have him up in the air the way he's meant to be, swooping down on who he seems to be his inferior at the moment, Asum Asuno. My opinion of this suit has changed a lot over the course of reviewing it, although it hasn't changed my overall verdict. If I had said right at the beginning, after I had put the parts together, from just the unboxing the parts, I've gone on at length about this, but I would have said that this kit, you can expect to see it on my 2012 best kit of the year list. Once I put it together though, every once in a while it may just seem a little bit too colorful. The MS design hasn't grown on me as much in plastic model form as we saw in the anime, but overall it's still got a lot more positives than negatives. It's great to see these kind of colors in high grade. Great mobility except in the legs and hips, so pretty much you can do tons of great things, just don't expect him to do everything that you'd imagine, and that can only lead to future speculation about what other forms and grades we could be getting him in, but this high grade, especially for that price point, very reasonable at $1,300, seems like a sure pickup for me, especially if you like lead antagonists, or Zeydra Galette, or masked men in particular. So what does the future hold in store of models? Well, that's certainly probably going to depend on what's going to happen with the third generation and whether Zeydra is going to become a good guy, bad guy, stay through, get frozen. Remains to be seen. Dezel stuck around from the first generation on. I just think that we may be more likely to be getting a master grade of this as opposed to the Zetas. Although the Zetas now, it has 3 color variations. How cool would it be if they gave you a plate of gray, red, and yellow so that you could do up a master grade in any one of the colors? It would be great if we had the lead, protagonist, and antagonist in 1/100th form model, not just gauging builders next to each other. But I guess if we see this guy in this mobile suit, last suit of the third generation, I certainly think we will be getting a master grade, considering that we haven't got any non-grades. But then again, we'll have to see the fate of the Gaffran in master grade and everything else. Could we be getting anything besides the AG and HG outside of a master grade? I don't think so, but why don't you let me know with a comment down below what you think. And of course, we've got a lot of remold possibilities, as you saw from the plates, with the Chronos certainly being a very, very cool addition to anybody's shelves with the just enough changes in armaments and color scheme. Can't wait to see how that guy's going to work, because it was great to see Flit versus Dezel versus Zeydra versus Asim. Would love to recreate that in proper 1/144th high grade form. So could these two characters end up going freedom and justice on us, or is he going to be dueling over the girl and dueling over everything else? The math certainly says they're only going to have problems, but I can't wait to see how the second generation and the third generation is going to play out, and how many of these characters are going to last, not to mention their mobile suits. They've done a great job of bringing the Age 1 and some of the first gen suits back, so will we see them? Anyway, there's so much to speculate about, but in the meantime, a great kit, a lot of fun to put together, and these videos as well, so why don't you let me know what you think of the MS and the video and the characters with a comment. Always love to hear from you, and stay tuned for lots more reviews of high grade, advanced grade, master grades, and hopefully a lot more age kits, especially in that key 1/100th form. Anyway, everybody, see you next time. First, the Age 1 can transform, and the ZSR can, and then vice versa. It looks like we'll never be seeing a Strider versus Duck race. And who can forget... And now we're only a pink one away from having a complete Super Sentai team. Come on, Farsha.